Good morning, YouTube. I thought today I would do the cross stitch tag. I also have a mini haul and a new start, as the title suggests. So first, let me start with my mini haul. It is a mini haul. I got 2 cross stitch kits. Since I discovered YouTube and floss tube, as we are called, I discovered that you can just get the chart and then kit up stuff yourself. I've discovered I prefer doing that, but I still do like kits occasionally. The good thing about being able to kit up your own stuff is that there is a much wider variety of stuff that's available. But with kits, I will still get a kit if it's something I really like. So, without further ado, the first kit I got is this one. It's called New Heights, and it's by Boffy Threads, or Boffy Threads, or however you want to say that. It's called New Heights. I think I already said that, but it's a gorgeous design. As you can see, it's got books on it, and that is primarily the reason why I got it. I might give this one as a gift when I've stitched it. I have someone in mind who would probably enjoy it as much as I do, but I will see how much I love it when I've stitched it, because I do love it, and it's so cute. And there's books, which is my one weakness, or one of several weaknesses, but books I think is the most potent weakness. If I was a superhero, you just have to throw a book at me, and I'd sit down and read it, and the villain would get away. So there's that one, and the other one I got is another gorgeous design. This one is called Puddles of Love. It's so cute. There's little beads for the buttons on her raincoat. Those buttons there. And there's also star sequins for the rain. And I've told my partner that when we have our own house, this one is going in our downstairs loo, because hopefully we shall have a downstairs loo when we have a house. I just think it would look really nice in a downstairs loo. That's toilet for you Americans. And possibly Australians, and I don't know if anyone but us British people call it a loo. But yeah. So I love that, and that is probably the first one out of the 2 I will stitch. They look to be relatively quick stitches. I was really tempted to start this one, but I already have 6 whips, as I've already just had a new start, so I resisted the temptation, but we shall see how long that lasts. So, you can see tiny little beads and a button. I think the button just goes there, so that's cute. So that's my mini haul. I will have another haul this month. When I get paid, I'm going to kit up my mirabilia and buy the charts for the Mirasal. Some of you might already know, but I've decided what one I'm going to do. The one I'm going to do is Silver Moon Tea. I will insert a picture of it here. I've decided on that one because not only is it slightly cheaper to kit up than some of the other ones, because it uses only DMC threads, no silk threads. It also is a homage to my love for tea, as you can see by my giant mug of tea in my Harry Potter themed mug. I do love tea. I think Mrs. Milky Bar Kid was talking about tea in her video, and I got very excited. The Silver Moon tea is like it says Earl Grey on it. Earl Grey is not my favourite tea. I prefer English breakfast or Ceylon. My mother-in-law to be calls English breakfast bricky bottom for some odd reason. I think it's because it's normally what builders drink. Brickies, as I suppose they're called by some people in England, not by me. So yeah, but it's tea, and it's tea related. So that's what I'm stitching for the Mirasal. It's smaller than a lot of the other ones, so I feel like I'm cheating a bit, but I really would like to kit up another chatelaine this year, when the one I want becomes available. Hopefully it will. If not, I will probably choose another one because I love them so much, and it was a choice between stitching a bigger Mirabilia and kitting up another chatelaine. So, but if I really enjoy stitching Silver Moon Tea, I will probably kit up another Mirabilia. I'm planning on buying several Mirabilia charts from so and so when I kit up my Silver Moon Tea, because I need to buy the chart as well. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably buy 3 or 4 charts when I get paid, plus the materials for Silver Moon Tea, and then I have them for when I'd like to stitch them. I like some of the mermaids, as you saw on my wish list, and so yeah. So there's that. So the main point of this video, before I started rambling about tea and that sort of thing, is the cross stitch tag. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the question up on the screen, and then I'm going to answer it, because if I try to read a list of questions and then try to answer it, I would be rambling a lot, because I am not very good at thinking on the spot. I say that I can think on the spot quite well at like academic conferences when people are asking me questions about my research, but talking about cross stitch on video, nope, I can't do it. So I'm going to I can't remember what I was saying. I'm going to put the questions up on the screen, and then I shall answer them. So here it goes. Before I do that, I almost forgot to show you my new start, because I'm a moron, obviously. So I started my chatelaine. It's called Water Garden, as some of you know already. So here is a picture of what it will look like when it will be finished. And here is how much I have done on it so far. Some of you seen this because I did upload it on Instagram. As you see, one of the threads there, the slightly green thread, is DMC, the rest are needlepoint ink silks. I'm enjoying stitching with the silks. They're quite nice to use, they glide through the fabric. I can't see much difference between them and the DMC at the moment, but they'll probably change when there's more of them. I'm really enjoying stitching this. I like the symmetry. I like picking parts, doing it on one side and then doing it on the other, and seeing it grow like that. I wasn't sure I'd like the symmetry, but I really do. There's something that satisfies me about doing the same thing twice and making it match up perfectly. So there's that. It's symmetrical horizontally and it's symmetrical vertically. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is my first attempt at stitching something on linen. It's a bit, I really like the linen because I started in the middle. There's a lot of fabric and I stitch in hand, so I'm having a bit of trouble with what to do with my fabric, but I'll get there. I'll work that out. So yeah, there's that. This is an evening stitching. I didn't get as much done as I hoped. I did take a break and play Skyrim for a couple of hours, so that's my fault really. But yeah, that's what I've done of my chatelaine. And now I will actually answer the cross stitch tag. So as I said, I'm going to put the questions up on the screen and then I will answer them. So here we go. How did you start, or who introduced you to cross stitch? I think I've said this before, but it was my nan and my aunt who introduced me to cross stitch when I was about 12 or 13. I used to go around their house on a Saturday sometimes and bake or craft, and my nan cross stitches and my aunt cross stitches, and I was interested in that, so they taught me how to. So that's basically it. Do you have a favourite theme or designer? I've been thinking about this question, and I don't think I do have a favourite theme or designer. My taste is quite eclectic. I love Heaven and Earth designs, particularly the artwork by Amy Stewart, Martha Dalig, Adele Lorraine Sessler, that sort of thing. I also like chatelaines. I like some of Beauty Fred stuff. I like Frosted Pumpkin stitchery, even though I haven't got any of their charts or have stitched anything by them yet. I like the Dimensions kit, some of them. So basically, I stitch what I like. I don't go by designer or theme. I like stuff with either lots of colours in or something that looks, I would say, quite cool, but that's kind of wishy-washy. But you know what I mean. I just stitch what I like the look of. I don't go by designer or theme. I will say I'm not that into seasonal stitching. I'm not too keen on, for myself, doing Christmas stitches or Halloween stitches, that sort of thing. I prefer stuff that I can display all year round. I would feel weird stitching Christmas stuff in August or September, but that's just me. I really like watching everyone's progress on the Christmas stitching. I just don't think it's something I do myself. So I hope I haven't offended anyone, but that's the only thing that I'm not in stitching. I have noticed that I've got a Santa behind me on my bookcase. I just knocked a wibbly worm off. I don't know why he's there. He just is. I have 3 bookcases and I have a load of rubbish on all of them. Let me turn you round so you can see my other 2 bookcases. So, as you can see, they're full of bits and bobs. I think I got that Santa from a stocking, and he's just been sitting on my bookcase. So, yeah. When I say I'm not into Christmas stitching, and then I have a Santa on display behind me, that seems kind of hypocritical, but it is what it is. So, I just thought I'd explain myself in case any of you are like, but you've got a Santa on your bookcase. What do you mean you don't want to stitch Christmas stuff? Yeah. I might stitch Christmas cards this year, but I'm not sure. As I said, Christmas is Christmas, and you have to start Christmas cards early, and I'm a really slow stitcher, so I don't know. Maybe in the future there'll be like a Christmas sampler or something that catches my interest, and I will have to eat my words. But for now, I prefer to stitch stuff that I can display all year round and stitch all year round without feeling a bit bizarre about it. So that's that. What floss brand do you use? Primarily I use DMC threads, mainly because when I first kitted up a design, which was my Oriental crane, the first column listed was DMC threads, so I just went for those. I'm not 100% sure why, but then obviously the next product I kitted was Heaven and Earth designs, and they are charted in DMCs, and so yeah. I am interested in specialty threads, like silks and things, as projects require them. So yeah, I will use pretty much anything, but primarily my default is DMC. What is your fabric of choice? If you'd asked me this question a month ago, I would have said Ada, because it's the only thing I'd used or had heard of, and I didn't realise there was other fabrics that you could stitch on. But now I think I would say even weave. I used even weave the first time when I kitted up Oriental crane, and I just like working on it. I like the effect it has. I like how easy it seems to be to do fractional stitches. Not that I've done any on even weave yet, but it was hard on my pincushion splitting the Ada, and so yeah, I'm going to say even weave. I'm not sure what count yet. My crane is on 28 count over 2, and my Heaven and Earth designs are on 25 count over 1. So I'll just have to do more projects on Evenweave. It's a shame, but I will have to do more projects, and then I can make an executive decision what count I like. My chatelain's on linen, and that's quite nice to work with so far, but I haven't worked much on that, so I don't have much of an opinion about linen yet, but we shall see. So yeah, my answer to this question is Evenweave. Do you use a needle threader, or are you a floss licker? I am a floss licker. I don't own a needle threader. I'm not really sure how to use a needle threader. So yeah, I am a floss licker, and I probably will always be a floss licker because needle threaders look unnecessarily complicated, and I don't know. They probably aren't, but I don't know. So yeah, I am a floss licker, and I am proud of it. What kind of frame do you use? I mainly stitch in hand actually, because I don't have any frames big enough. For my Dare to Dream, I'm using a scroll frame, because that's what my nan gave me to start it on. And for the Oriental Crane, I'm using these frames that you stick together, and they come in different lengths, and it's just like a wooden frame. And then you tack it with drawing pins onto the frame, which seems really bad for the fabric, so I'm a little worried about that. Let me grab some and actually show you. Hold on a sec. So these are what I bought they're by Siesta Frames Limited, and they're just long lengths of wood with little notches in, and you stick them together, and they make a square or rectangle like this. So, oh look, Desmarie wants us to show our backs, so there you go. That's my back. This is the frame, and I've stuck it on with masking tape. It's a square, and then I put drawing pins on it. So I'm hoping it doesn't ruin the fabric. But it will be around the edge of the design anyway. So yeah, we shall see how that turns out. I'm not too sure about these frames. So yeah, mostly I stitch in hand, which is causing issues with my chatelaine, and it'll probably cause issues with my heaven and earth designs when I get close to the middle and there's lots of fabric going around. I'm looking to buy a bigger scroll frame, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd be too bulky. The biggest one I can find on Stone is 39 inches across, which is slightly too big. But then the next one down is 30 inches across, and that's not quite big enough, which is annoying. So I might have to get a bigger frame, and then I might have to get a stand, and then that will be, yeah. So at the moment, mostly I'm stitching in hand, which that's the whole point of this question, is tell you that mostly I stitch in hand, but I do have one project on the scroll frame and one project on the Siesta frames, and very, very occasionally I will use a hoop, depending on the size of the project. I used a hoop to begin my chatelaine, and then I decided I didn't like it because it was marking the linen, so I took it out. Yeah. So I'm going to stop rambling about frames now because I don't actually have that much to say. So I'm going to stop. How many projects have you finished? I thought the answer to this question was 2, my pincushion and my dolphins. But when I was with my nans, I found that I'd actually done 3 projects, and I will show you number 3 later, because it was the first project I finished. So yeah, the answer to that is 3. 2 of them have been in the last couple of months since I started stitching again. And hopefully that number will continue to grow, and I won't get distracted and stop stitching. I don't think I will. I think I'm older and wiser now. So then my 13-year-old self got distracted by school and GCSEs and college and then university and so on and so forth. So yeah, 3 at the moment. How many completed works do you currently have displayed in your home? The short answer is none. my first finish is displayed in my nan's house, and I use my pincushion on a daily basis, but it's not displayed in my home as such. And the dolphins are waiting to be finished. So when I've framed them and they're I was about to say when they've framed them and they're framed, when they're finished, hopefully they'll be displayed in my little breakfast room. But until then, the answer is really none, which is sad. But when I have more finishes and I've got stuff framed, then it will be significantly more because I will display everything because I like having art on the wall, especially art that I've made. So, although I do have a painting I did for my GCSE that is displayed on the wall downstairs. So there's that one. In case you're interested in that painting, here is briefly. That piece is absolutely huge. It's A2, which is 2 times A3. It was my final piece for year 11, which is my last year at school, for my art GCSE. It took me all year to do. I basically rearranged pomegranate and physalis and a glass bottle and some other bits and pieces and this really velvety blue fabric, and we painted that. A question asked for completed projects that you have to spend in your home, and I count that as one of my finished projects, even though it's not stitching. But I thought I'd share it with you guys anyway, just because I feel bad saying none. I have nothing of my own displayed in my house. So, yeah, there's that. Do you stitch more for gifts or to keep them for yourself? I'm gonna say I stitch more for myself and keep stuff for myself. But I do have 2 gifts on the go at the moment. Kitty Litter and the Oriental Cranes are going to be gifts. And I will stitch stuff for people because I like giving gifts, but I will only stitch for close family members because I get quite attached to my works, I think, and I don't want them disappearing into the ether forever. So more for myself. But I will stitch. I'm stitching a couple of gifts, and I probably will stitch a few gifts in the future. Like New Heights might possibly be a gift, but I'm not sure yet. What is your favourite project or finish you are most proud of? That's 2 separate questions, really. The finish I'm most proud of is my pincushion. I keep showing you guys this, but I love it. It's the first project I did French knots, it's the first project I did fractional stitches, it's the first project, I say it's the first project I finished, but it's not. But it's the first project that was more complicated that I finished. So that's my first attempt at sewing something into something else. So there's a lot to be proud of in this one. My favourite project, that's hard. I love all of the projects I'm working on. Probably at the moment my favourite might be Oriental Crane. But I do love my Heaven and Earth designs, I love my chatelaine. I like all of them. So I don't really have a favourite project. I like all of them. All of them are my favourites. That's what you say about children, but it's the same with my projects. So yeah, that answers that question. What has been your least favourite or worst experience while stitching? This is a hard question. I don't think I have a least favourite or worst experience. Okay, there's been like a couple of times when I've miscounted, I've had to frog something, or when I picked up Dare to Dream back at the beginning of June, my 12-year-old self had made some mistakes and I had to undo a lot and restitch it. But I don't think they're all part of the stitching experience, really. It's a learning experience. I think my worst nightmare is if I was drinking tea and I spilt it all over my work or something, but that hasn't happened, fortunately. Yeah, I don't think I have a worst experience. If I had to pick one, I would say, oh, I had to frog some stitches. Oh no. Thankfully, I haven't had to frog a large amount of stitches. It's only ever been 5 or 6 at a time. I think I would feel differently if it was a couple of hundred stitches, like I know some of you've had. So I count myself lucky that I haven't had that kind of experience yet. I say yet. It will happen. It will happen. Watch this space. What do you love and what do you hate about cross stitching? I love a lot of things about cross stitching. I love the way you can watch a project grow from a blank piece of fabric to a finished piece. I love that it takes so much work for it to happen. It's not one of these hobbies where you can sit down and you can create a finished piece in an hour. Well, you probably could if it was a tiny one, but you know what I mean. Like, you can't just. It's not like instant gratification. It's something you have to work at for days and months and sometimes even years. So when you do achieve a finish, it's so much sweeter. I love Floss Tube. I love our little community. I love that I've met people from all different backgrounds and ages and countries. I love that we all encourage each other and our community is so nice, and I have not seen a negative comment yet. And YouTube is renowned for its negative comments, so it's really nice to see that. What do I hate about cross stitching? Nothing about cross stitching itself. I hate living in the UK and the fact we have so much less than some other countries, especially America. You guys have so many local needle stores, and we literally, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we have Hobbycraft, we have C&H Fabrics, which has the occasional cross stitch kit, but it's really expensive, and it doesn't really have. It's called C&H Fabrics, but it doesn't have cross stitching fabrics. It has fabrics for making furniture or curtains and things. And we have. Is that it? I swear I had another thing to say. I don't think so. So yeah, literally those two that I can think of. We also have so and so, which is nice because you can actually get silk on there and specialty threads that they import them from America. And if they're out of stock, it takes another fortnight for something to come in, and that's really annoying. But it's not the same. Browsing online is not the same as going into a shop and being able to see different things, different fabrics, different threads, beads. Hobbycraft has some beads. I actually found the Swarovski crystals in Hobbycraft. It doesn't have millfield beads though. At least my local one doesn't. So yeah, I don't like that in the UK it's hard to get different things that aren't kits. Yeah, that's basically what I hate. I also hate that more people don't realise that cross stitching has changed a lot from. I know in the past there were a lot of the same kind of designs, and it's kind of seen as a thing that people in retirement homes did, or you know, like you didn't do, your grandparents did it, or something like that. I know some of your grandparents, but it's not meant to offend. That's just how it's seen, or at least for like people in my generation. But I think now there's so many different designers and different things you can stitch, and so many different people from different backgrounds are doing it, that I think more people should be into the hobby. I'm sad it's not bigger than it is. I think it's bigger in America than it is here, but I've yet to meet in real life I think someone. I've got a couple of friends that cross stitch, but I've yet to meet someone that's just, you know, you mentioned in casual conversation that you cross stitch, and no. So that's what I hate. I hate that it's not bigger than it is. I think it should be bigger in the UK. and I think we should have our own local needle stores, and we should be able to buy silks and stuff on the high street instead of having to shop online. So that's what I hate. Really, I'm just jealous of you guys in America. So that's basically it. Hope I didn't offend anyone with my grandma comment, but that's just how it was seen. Have you introduced anyone else to cross stitch? I don't think so. I'd like to say I introduced my partner to cross stitch, but I'm not 100% certain. I definitely made her buy her first kit. I'm not sure if she did any as a kid, but I made her in adulthood buy her first cross stitch kit, and I enabled her to buy Heaven and Earth design. So I guess her partly. I'm getting my little sister back into cross stitching. My nan taught her like she taught me, but because I've been stitching, my sister is very interested in doing it, and she actually bought a Heaven and Earth design as well. So I am enabling people around me to jump into Heaven and Earth designs. So that's cool. I don't think I've introduced anyone from scratch though. What was your first cross stitch project, and did you finish it? My first cross stitch project, as I rediscovered at my nan's house, is a flower magnet. It's really tiny, and I will show you a picture of it now. So yeah, that is my first finish and my first project, and I did finish it, and you can't tell in the photo, but the Ada is very wonkily cut and stuck in a fridge magnet. It was a fridge magnet kit, but I was terrible at cutting fabric, so I think I added the high on the flower pot, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think I did. So yeah, there's my happy flower, and that's my first finish, or my first project. How do you store your cross stitch floss? Thankfully, this is the last question. You're probably getting sick of me whittering on. But I store my threads in a number of different ways. For the thread I'm currently using for a project, I store it on these homemade cardboard things with holes punched in, the numbers and the symbols on there. So that's what I do for threads that are currently being used in projects. For thread that I haven't started using yet, but is still required for a project, I just put it in a bag. This is all the thread I need for the butterfly ball that I haven't already used in the design, so I haven't yet put it on the cardboard thing, because I thought if I put it all on the cardboard things then I'll just get confused. So it's all in here. For my excess floss thread that I'm not using for any projects, I got a craft box and I've put it on bobbins. I don't have that much. So I have them like that. I've stored them in the numerical order. As you can see, most of them I don't have that much left. These are all the excess threads, apart from the one I just showed you. That was one I had to buy for the pin cushion because I didn't include it in the kit. But just leftover thread from dolphins. So I've just stuck it on these little bobbins. I have hundreds of them, so hopefully I won't need to buy any more anytime soon. But yeah, I love this colour. So yeah, that's how I store my thread. I didn't really have a storage system until I finished dolphins, and I was like, oh god, where do I put all my excess thread? Where do I put it? So I bought a craft box and so I bought some bobbins, and yeah, So hopefully that will work out for me. Because I cut my threads, it's a bit awkward winding it around the bobbin. As you can see, I've had a bit of trouble with this one. I've got like bits of thread hanging everywhere. But it's worked out okay. So just my nature of cutting the thread quite short so it doesn't get tangled, rather than I don't wind it straight on the bobbin from the skein. I cut thread when I need it, and I put it on these, and then I will, if I have any left over, I will wind it on the bobbin so that I know what is spare thread and what is being used for a project, so I don't accidentally, use it. I don't know how useful some of these lengths of thread will be, but hopefully when I have more, I'll be able to kit up from my box rather than having to go out and buy every single skein of DMC that I need. So yeah, so that is the end of the cross stitch tag. That last question, I'm sorry I was rambling, but I don't really have a storage system as such yet. Well, I do, but it's not very exciting because it's not got much in it. But so that's the end of the cross stitch tag. I don't know when I'll make another video. I will make a video when I get my haul, when I get my supplies for the mirror stuff, and I will probably buy some extra bits and bobs because I can't resist when I go on sale, so I have to buy more than one thing. So I will see you guys in a few weeks. Keep updating your lovely videos because I love watching them while I'm stitching. I noticed this morning that Mrs. Milky Bar Kid had uploaded another hour-long video, so I'm going to sit down and work on kitty litter and watch that and catch up with any other videos that are in my subscription. I made a collection for you guys. I called it Stitching. I put it in, but for some reason half of you don't show up in that feed. So if I miss your video, it's not on purpose. I'm not snubbing you. It hasn't come up in my feed. It comes up in my main subscription feed, but I sorted you into collection, so I wasn't confused. But I'm gonna have to start looking through the main subscription feed because Mrs. Milky Bucket, you don't show up in my collection anymore. And some of you other guys, Stitching May doesn't. So I don't understand what's going on with that. So I'll have to work out and try and fix that. But I'm gonna try and work out a way. No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to watch my subscriptions. There's a couple of new people I've just discovered that I'm going to watch their videos as well while I'm stitching. So it's going to be another day. It's the last day of my holiday from work, so I'm going to stitch and watch YouTube videos and upload this, obviously. So yeah, have a great day. I'm sorry this has been so long and rambly. I can't shut up when I'm talking. And I can get confused what I'm talking about, and then it gets confusing and rambly. So yeah, have a great day. I'm going to actually go now. Happy stitching.